How a single coin decided the fate of an entire empire. Have you ever wondered if something as small as a single coin could change the course of history? What if the future of an empire that ruled millions depended on one simple flip? Tonight, I will tell you a story that sounds impossible. A story of power, war, ambition, and fate. A story I witnessed with my own eyes. My name is Marcus Flavius. I was a soldier of Rome, and I saw how a single coin helped decide the fate of an entire empire. The year was 69 AD. Rome was in chaos. Emperors rose and fell like leaves in a storm. Armies fought armies. Generals betrayed generals. Nobody knew who would wear the imperial crown next. The people called it the Year of the Four Emperors. I called it the year Rome nearly destroyed itself. One cold morning, I stood guard outside a military camp near the northern frontier. The air smelled of smoke and wet earth. Thousands of soldiers crowded the camp. Every man knew that history was about to change. Inside the command tent stood two powerful Roman commanders. One was General Aulus, a veteran loved by the legions. The other was General Lucius, a brilliant strategist feared by his enemies. Both men believed they should lead the next campaign. Both men believed they deserved the honor. Both men commanded loyal soldiers. And neither man would back down. The argument had lasted for hours. Voices echoed from inside the tent. General Aulus slammed his fist on the table. I have fought for Rome for 20 years. I earned this command. General Lucius stepped forward. And I have won victories you could only dream of. The army needs a strategist, not an old warhorse. The officers exchanged nervous looks. Everyone knew the danger. If the generals fought each other, their armies might do the same. A civil war could begin before sunset. Rome had already suffered enough bloodshed. Then, an elderly centurion spoke. There must be another way. The tent fell silent. Aulus crossed his arms. What do you suggest? Cassius reached into his pouch. Slowly, he pulled out a silver denarius. The coin gleamed in the morning light. One side carried the image of the emperor. The other displayed Roman symbols of power. Cassius held it high. Let fate decide. The officers stared in disbelief. Lucius laughed. You would trust an empire to a coin, Cassius nodded. Better a coin than thousands of dead Romans. The room grew quiet. No one spoke. Then General Aulus surprised everyone. I accept. All eyes turned to Lucius. For several seconds he said nothing. Finally he nodded. So do I. Word spread through the camp like wildfire. Thousands of soldiers gathered outside. Men climbed wagons, others stood on barrels. Everyone wanted to witness the decision. I pushed through the crowd until I reached the front. The tension was unbearable. Cassius stepped into the center of the camp. The silver coin rested in his hand. He looked at both generals. Heads for Aulus, tails for Lucius. The entire camp fell silent. Even the wind seemed to stop. Cassius flipped the coin. The silver disc shot into the sky. It spun higher and higher. Sunlight flashed from its surface. For a brief moment, it seemed frozen above Rome's future. Then it fell. The coin struck the ground, bounced once, twice, and settled in the dust. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Cassius bent down. He studied the coin. Then he looked up. Heads. Aulus had won. The crowd erupted. Some soldiers cheered. Others groaned. But something remarkable happened. Lucius stepped forward. He extended his hand. Rome has chosen. Aulus grasped his arm. No. Rome has survived. The soldiers erupted into applause. What could have become a bloody civil war ended with a handshake. A single coin had prevented thousands of deaths. But the story does not end there. General Aulus led the campaign. His forces secured vital territories. Trade routes remained open. Food continued flowing into Rome. The empire stabilized. Many historians later argued that his victories helped create the conditions that allowed Rome to recover from one of its most dangerous crises. Had Lucius won, history might have unfolded differently. Perhaps he would have succeeded. Perhaps he would have failed. No one can know. That is the mystery of history. One small moment creates endless possibility. Years later, as an old veteran, I often thought about that coin. I had survived battles, crossed rivers of blood, marched thousands of miles. Yet one of the most important events I ever witnessed involved no swords at all, just a piece of silver spinning through the air. People often imagine history is shaped only by great armies and powerful rulers, but sometimes history turns on the smallest things. A missed message, a delayed ship, a sudden storm, or a single coin. Every empire appears strong and unstoppable. Rome certainly did. Its roads stretched across continents. Its armies conquered kingdoms. Its banners flew over millions of people. Yet, even the greatest empire could be influenced by chance. That lesson has stayed with me my entire life. Because fate often arrives in unexpected forms. Sometimes it wears armor. Sometimes it carries a sword. And sometimes it fits inside the palm of your hand. So the next time someone tells you that small decisions don't matter, remember this story. Remember the silver coin. Remember the generals. Remember the soldiers holding their breath as history hung in the balance. Because one tiny object helped prevent a civil war, and perhaps saved an empire. What do you think? Would you trust the fate of a nation to a coin toss? Or should such decisions always belong to people? Leave a comment below and let us know. Share, like, follow, and subscribe for more.